as is absolutely appropriate, I'd like to acknowledge on behalf of the Mumbulla Foundation the original inhabitants of the lands and waters of the Bega Valley Shire, where we're lucky enough to live and meet today, the people of the Yuin Nation, and show our respect to the elders past, present, emerging and future. I'd like to just spend a couple of minutes giving you some background about the Mumbulla Foundation. The Mumbulla Foundation raises money to provide grants to charitable and not-for-profit community organisations in the Shire. The Mumbulla Foundation also funds university scholarships to undergraduate and postgraduate students attending the University of Wollongong Bega campus, where we're lucky enough to meet today, as well as providing school book prizes and support vouchers to schools and families in the Bega Valley. We do this in partnership with a fantastic organisation called the Foundation for Regional and Rural Renewal, who were in fact part of the original benefactors of the Mumbulla Foundation. The Mumbulla Foundation is incorporated as a company limited by guarantee and is registered with both ASIC and the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profit Commission, and all donations to the Mumbulla Foundation are tax deductible. It also means we work under a very strict set of rules around governance and how we operate. The Bega Valley Shire Council is our major partner in the Mumbulla Foundation. Under our Memorandum of Understanding with the Council, they contribute $25,000 a year to us for grants, and they contribute $5,000 a year to us to help us with our running costs. It's then our obligation as the foundation to match their funding dollar for dollar. So we have to then go and raise the matching funds so that we can then help the community. And the foundation is staffed completely by volunteers. We have no paid employees. Everybody works for nothing. So what I'd like to do is do the fun part and hand out some money. So as I call your name, if you'd like to come up, just introduce yourself and just spend a couple of minutes talking about what you're doing and perhaps how we've been able to help. So Will, you're first off. So Will's from the Eden Game Development Centre down in Eden. Congratulations, buddy.
Okay, I wasn't prepared for a speech, so I'll just talk about me for a bit and what we do and what the grant's for. So I'm William Shuffles. I teach at Eden Game Development Centre. We teach disengaged and disadvantaged youth how to make video games. So learning skills like coding, art, music, storytelling, and soft skills like teamwork and collaboration and all those kinds of benefits that can come along, and having kids working together when they, like Peter just said, you don't want them at home doing nothing or walking the streets. It gets them in a space where they're learning, having fun, and coincidentally learning skills and being educated, which they don't really notice most of the time because they're just having fun. It's not uncommon for the room to be burst out in laughter because they're just having fun and engaged with activities. And these skills can lead to employment and careers and even just hobbies and things to do and skills to learn. And the grant, we applied for more equipment to make what we can do with the kids more fun and engaging. So like a mobile phone to engage the kids with everything that you can do with a mobile phone. You might, like everything you can do with it except for ringing up somebody. So all the tech that you have in a phone that you might not use on a daily basis, like the gyroscope, the camera, the 3D, the virtual reality and augmented reality capabilities, the GPS, and all of the hardware that's built into the phone, which is amazing technology, which would have been state of the art 5 years ago, which we just all take for granted, but don't really use to that degree. Now I have that capability to bring those technologies to the kids and develop on that kind of hardware and create phone apps and phone games and that kind of technology, and it's more fun and engaging with different hardware options that we just couldn't afford while we're trying to keep going and grow ourselves. So, yeah. So good.
Thanks, mate. Okay, the next one is empowering Nadi daughters. Who is going to come and talk to us?
On behalf of Nadi Daughters Women's Group, we would like to thank Mumbulla Foundation for this grant, as our women's group has been going for years and growing and getting bigger and stronger.
So the grant will be going towards a marquee that will be used for a market stall. So what our plan is doing some arts and crafts and do up some little bush tucker and some artifacts to try and sell, which, you know, we're going to get the kids to help us with.
Make some goodies to sell at our market store. So we hope to see you all there.
Make sure you advertise it.
So once again, we thank you and hopefully see you soon.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Bega Littleton Sister City Exchange Project.
So my name's Rod McDonald. I'm from the Bega Littleton Sister City Exchange. Bega Littleton is Littleton's a suburb of Denver now, but in the 1950s and 60s it was a little country town, and the editor of the Bega District News saw a film that was made over in Littleton and made contact with the editor of the Littleton paper and started up an exchange program. So on the first and the 6th years, they send a delegation out here, and on the 3rd and the 8th year of the decade, we go over there. So 2018, we're over in Denver, and we're expecting them in 2021, which will be the 60th year of the delegation. It's actually the oldest sister city relationship between an Australian town and an American city. So it's, yeah. And the grant we've got is to create an e-book to go back through all the delegations and create an e-history. So we'll be able to email it and share it around, and hopefully get the word out about the Bega Littleton delegation to get more members. It's a great way to meet people. It's a great cultural exchange. You know, you end up finding out more about your local areas too when the delegation comes. You get to go and see places that you don't normally see. And of course the delegation going to America is great fun as well. So thank you very much to the Mumbulla Foundation for the support.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.
The Boroughgate RFS.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Michael and his committee and the Mumbulla Foundation. I got roped into this job of accepting this and saying something, so I said to Paul, who did a brilliant job at our little community, to say, well, you know, what do I say? And he said, oh, well, just say something about blinds, because that's what we're getting. And I said, blinds, what can I say about blinds? I said, I know lots of blind jokes. And I sent back to him and I said, do you think they'll mind? He said, oh, they're an easy-going group. You'll be right. Tell your dad jokes. Well, I was advised very strongly against that by my children. Anyway, for those who don't know where Burrigat is, it's an hour's drive that way. You're welcome to come down anytime. Blinds. Why did we want some blinds for our little fire shed? Well, the fire shed isn't just a place to store fire engines and equipment. It's also our little area where we have meetings, even community meetings, training sessions. And with 3 windows without any coverage whatsoever, we had a couple of problems. 1, in winter, we were cold. 2, in summer, the heat came in. And 3, we had equipment in there that we didn't particularly want people to see. Now, I can't tell you what equipment that is, because following government rules, it's, you know, part of national security to not tell anybody. Anyway, we've decided to make an application for this grant, and we were very graciously awarded it, and we will make use of it, especially over this coming summer, because many of us live quite a distance away from the fire station. What we do in really bad days is we get a team or a crew down at the fire station, sitting there in that little office area waiting just in case, so that we can respond quickly and efficiently, rather than having to wait for people to drive reasonably lengthy distances to get there. So it will be very, very much appreciated by the members of the RFS community. Thank you very much.
You very much.
Okay, the Lumen Christi Catholic College, precious plastic recycling. We'll leave that to Leanne and hopefully he turns up. It's a project that's been run extracurricular, where the kids are looking at developing technologies around recycling waste plastic into usable products. And this was to help them buy their first shredding machine, which they had identified they could get locally as well. So I'm sure they'll be here. Okay, the Bega Valley Genealogical Society.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Mumbulla Foundation for making these grants available. Our project was for hard drives to secure Airedale and Kamaruka collections, which we can store the backups for these collections, hang on, glasses might help, on site in case anything happens to the copies when in use at the old Pambula Courthouse. These two collections hold so much wealth and history of the Bega Valley Shire and cannot be replaced if lost. About 3 years ago, the Society received a wonderful legacy from Carol Muller, a collection of documents and photos from Airedale property in Mumbulla, owned by the Blacker family, covering a period of 1862 to 1920, which was 58 years. In her will, she left some money to preserve and store the Airedale collection and others. We were able to get Anna Bergen, a retired archivist, to start digitalising the collections. Last year, we thought the process had finished, but Warwick Hurst from the State Library of New South Wales contacted us, and he had a collection of Airedale papers and thought the collection should be held as one. What would we do without volunteers and the Mumbulla Foundation for giving us grants? So the whole idea is to keep external hard drives off the premises. We keep a working copy when we've got it up and running in the courthouse, and if that happens to don't say burn down, we'll lose all the paperwork as well. But even if the hard drives give up, we've got others out we can bring in and redo and put another working copy into the library.
Excellent.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Pambula Wetlands and Heritage Project.
Thank you very much. I just think it's amazing that this wonderful foundation supports over 300, or nearly 300, community groups. It's quite an amazing stat. Yeah. So we have been fortunate to receive some funds that are going towards a water tank. Now we just need some funds to go towards some rain. So we've, over 20 years, we've undertaken an enormous amount of revegetation projects at Pambula. I'm sure most of you have probably walked the paths there or ridden bikes or had fun and games down there. And it's such a special place. We have over 50,000 visitors a year come through Pambula, and we're pretty proud of that. And we're pretty proud of the fact that we've turned what was grazing paddocks into really lush forests now. Many people would know that we had a huge population of grey-headed flying foxes last year. It was a real thrill to have a threatened species actually come and reside in our little patch of the world. So, so we're going to put in, we've got quite a few roofs that currently don't capture and store water. So with the water that we capture, we have just purchased a steam weeding unit, so the water can be used in that to help us tackle weeds without chemicals. And it can also help us to plant trees, and even though we're going through this really dry time now, we're still planting and we're still getting some really good growth happening on the trees that we're putting in. Our volunteer force, they just put so much love into the place, and we have nearly 3,000 hours a year of volunteer effort, so it's a really special project to be part of.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And we do enjoy it down there. The next one is Funhouse Southeast Arts, Wakunda. So I'll follow that one up. Tathra Public School P&C, the Year 6 Leadership Camp.
So I'm Lara. I'm here on behalf of the Tathra Public School P&C Association, and this is Cooper Finnegan. He's one of our current Year 5 students, and he'll be a Year 6 student next year who's going to be one of the students who benefits from this program that we're running. So first of all, thank you very much for supporting our school again this year, and it's really exciting to hear about all these great projects that are happening. With the funds that we received today, we'll be supporting the Year 6 students of Tathra School to engage in a leadership camp in our local environment of Warrnambool National Park. Students will engage in leadership activities, team building games, cultural and mindfulness activities, as well as learn bush survival skills. This program will help to build the foundation for students to develop their leadership skills throughout the year and be rewarded for their skills by earning their school leadership badges. At Tathra, we foster leadership qualities in our students. We know this will provide them with skills to navigate the world and positively contribute to our local future. During this program, we will be bringing in well-respected guests to lead the students through a range of activities, and we'll be using our partnership with the Franklin Covey Leader in Me program, which builds on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. As part of the local community, where we have experienced a number of hardships and traumas in recent time, the Tathra School students have shown amazing resilience. Our group of Year 6 students coming next year really excites us. They highlight the energy and effort young people bring with them daily. So we're really confident that this program will support them in drawing their experiences to grow and develop as young leaders. This grant money will cover the costs of the program, meals and accommodation, and ensure that our students and our school, but the whole local community benefit from the program as well. So thank you very much for the funding for this, and we're very excited. Thank you.
Congratulations. The Eden Community Access Centre.
So hello everybody, my name's Karina Severs and I work for the Eden Community Access Centre. We operate out of Eden, obviously. We're a community organisation and we work towards supporting, I guess, the social capital of our area, not just Eden, but the outlying areas as well. So we support people that are disadvantaged. We support people that are marginalised. We contribute, we partner with all sorts of organisations in our area, including the Bega Valley Shire Council, Campbell Page, Far South Coast Family Support Services, Family and Community Services. Oh, the list goes on and on and on. Some of our projects include, as Mick reminded me, was we rent to try and make a little bit of an income so that we keep afloat. We rent our front room out to services, so people like employment services, max employment, workability. We also have it there for community organisations to make use of, so other not-for-profit organisations. We don't hit them up for a donation though. So yeah, we do all sorts of stuff just basically to support our local community. And to have the opportunity to get this benefit from the Mumbulla Foundation is absolutely brilliant. This money will go towards replacing our computers, about 5 of them I think, which are slowly but surely dying, and we have no way of replacing them apart from to apply for community grants. So it's absolutely great. It's ticked a huge box for us, and this means that we can keep working and providing a service to the community technology wise, so people can access simple things such as their banking, government services like a MyGov account. They can communicate, they can use their social media accounts, but all sorts of stuff. It connects them to the world. So it's going to be put to really good use. Thank you very much, Mick, and thank you to your committee. Yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you.
Teen Clinic.
Closest.
So we're from Teen Clinic, and Teen Clinic is a nurse-led drop-in clinic that's been running in Bega for the last 5 years, and over the last few years we've rolled them out in Eden, Mumbulla, Narooma and Kiama. Teen Clinic sits within the usual general practice workings but has no funding. We are a not-for-profit. This money is going towards building on our system development, our business development system, and also our training package. That is going to allow us to build efficiencies into our model and help us to support the existing clinics that are already keeping going with zero funding, but also build consistency into the service delivery that we offer, but also allow us to expand our reach of teen clinics hugely, hopefully. But by using this to build efficiencies, we're going to be able to expand much, much easier and hopefully have our hub, our Teen Clinic Australia headquarters, existing out of Bega Valley and building on employment as well as delivering youth services in a really efficient way, hopefully. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bega Valley Public School, PNC.
Okay, my name's Liam O'Sullivan. I told you I was loud. I'm Assistant Principal Special Education up at Bega Valley Public School. Now, we have this big space out the back of our 3 classrooms, and for a long time, the kids have utilised it to ride bikes and whatnot, and we've discussed what we can do with this space to make it better. So essentially, with this grant, we're going to add a pump track, a sensory garden, and so when you spoke about the story, I'm just thinking about the kids and how great it's going to be for them. So thank you very much. Do you want to?
I'll add to that, yeah. Yes, thank you. We're very grateful to the Mumbulla Foundation for their support. This initiative isn't something that the government offers for our public schools. It's something that at a local level we've identified would be sensational for all of our students, but in particular our students with disabilities. You can see we bring a fabulous dynamic team to our support classes, and they've actually had a brilliant year this year, and I know that the students are really looking forward to this initiative. We're all very excited about it. We're very grateful. Rod McDonald, who you met earlier with the Littleton project, he's president of our PNC, and he's been behind supporting us and building this. So we look forward to sharing that narrative in a very big way. Yeah, thank you.
That's all right.
Thank you very much.
Playability. Jeff?
Yeah. Thank you. So Playability is a community-based organisation that provides services or family support services and disability support services for young children. A big part of our work is working directly with children to support their development across areas such as communication, their social skills, their physical development and their skills. But the other important part of what we do is actually working directly with the parents and their carers, the preschools and the primary schools which these children go into, because a big part of what happens for these children, or the experience of these children, is that they often present with quite challenging behaviours. So a big part of our role is to support the schools and the families to understand what those behaviours are and to implement strategies across different environments to support their development. This grant, for which we're really grateful for, will enable us to put on a workshop called Brains Equals Behaviour, and to be able to pay for that presenter to come. This workshop will be offered to schools and preschools and to parents. The workshop will focus more on the modern neuroscience around behaviours and understanding how sensory difficulties affect children across different environments, and how we can nurture their development through understanding how their brains are working. which is a bit different from the way that we've looked at behaviour in the past. So the workshop will be presented by Alison Davies. So she'll support parents to understand and identify to reduce factors that cause stress and anxiety for these children, and to provide an environment that improves sensory processing for them, and to remain engaged and supported, to remain engaged in supporting their child through their behaviour that reduces blame and maintains positive connections. So thanks again to the Mumbulla Foundation.
That's all right, our pleasure. You'll have to forgive my pronunciation on the next one. Juwali Gal, through Merriman's.
Okay. All right.
Just explain.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much, the Mumbulla Foundation. This project, yes, I'm a bit short. This project is Jawallinga, how's it pronounced, and we're, so myself, Warren, and this other Aboriginal guy, Shaquille Aldridge from Eden, we're going to do a dance exchange program between the communities in Wallaga Lake and Eden, where we'll work with kids and teach dance and music workshops over the year, next year, and then have these days where both communities come together and share what they're learning. Yeah. Did you want to talk about maybe the benefits?
Yeah. Yeah, so Jawallingal is translated to We Grow, and it's about unifying the two communities, because we have so much family up and down the south coast. This is also, yeah, it's bringing them back together, and also in a fun way. So dance and entertainment is a big part of the life that we are a part of and the world that we're a part of. And dance is really a thing that's been missing from the community of Wallaga Lake. Like, we've done dance programs down in Eden, and we've run workshops with like songwriting workshops and like music making workshops and stuff like that there. And this is, yeah, this is a way to further that there, or further them skills and give the kids an opportunity to, yeah, to do dance, but also to dance and relate to another community. Yeah, and it's about bringing them both together, and yeah.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Writers of the far south coast.
All right. Hi, I'm Amanda. And this is the third and largest grant that the Writers of the Far South Coast have received since I've been president, so thank you. But the club is actually older than I am. It was started by a lovely lady called Avril Smith, and each month, on the third Saturday, a small group of writers get together down at Club Sapphire to critique each other's work in the morning and learn new techniques in the afternoon at workshops. So, on behalf of our club very much, I'd like to thank you, because our members keep harping on about creating a compilation book. The area has many memoir writers and children's writers, so why not theme our book around memoiresque stories written for primary school aged children? Working title, When I Was Your Age. I've both asked and answered that question, you know. Tell us about when you were young. And this book hopes to capture that answer, preserve it, and entertain future generations. The committee knows that the club is going to need a bit of help, as you do. And we've enlisted the help of Dr. Ray Lucky to run a series of workshops to hone our submissions until they're ready to be published. Oh, hang on. Edit. Our AGM is this weekend, so this grant is going to be a nice bit of news to share over lunch and a chocolate brownie. I am absolutely ecstatic that Mumbulla Foundation have joined my war cry. Literature is important. And with the help of Mumbulla, the Bega Valley Shire Council, and the members of the Writers of the Far South Coast, I hope that sometime before September 2020, the National Library of Australia will have another book to add to their shelves.
And last but by no means least, South East Arts.
Unlike everyone else, I can't ad-lib, so I'm going to read off here. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Angela George, and as part of my various heritage management and interpretation hats, I'm currently engaged as Museums Advisor for the Bega Valley Shire area. The Museums Advisor program is managed by Museums and Galleries New South Wales, with core funding provided by the state government's Create New South Wales program and support from participating local governments. It's been operating since 2000, providing accessible professional support to regional, community and public museums across the state. 40 LGAs have taken part in the program, with 15 currently participating, including the Bega Valley. The rural and regional museum sector is developing into a significant economic, social, wellbeing and cultural contributor to the regions they serve. They're also emerging as a player in the cultural tourism industry. However, for these museums to take advantage of the opportunities on offer, we need to empower them to effectively get the word out to existing and potential audiences. Among the most pressing needs identified by New South Wales heritage-based organisations is access to specialist advice and training. Here in the Bega Valley Shire, we have 9 public history museums and collecting organisations stretching from Eden through to Bermagui and Cobargo, all run by dedicated volunteer committees. Funding provided by the Mumbulla Foundation will enable South East Arts and myself to organise a Marketing Your Museum workshop to provide accessible training for those volunteers. It will support their endeavours to, for example, increase community engagement, effectively target audiences, increase visitor numbers, improve finances and secure new volunteers. This will contribute towards their sustainability now and into the future by assisting with their core duties of collecting, preserving, documenting, interpreting and educating. This Mumbulla Foundation acknowledges that increased resources, improved partnerships, capacity building initiatives and better localised access to professional assistance and skills development are backbone components of a vibrant and sustainable local cultural heritage future. So thank you to the Mumbulla Foundation.
Well, thank you all. That's all the grants for this year. Thank you for turning up. As I said, my main plea to you is please become passionate ambassadors for the Mumbulla Foundation. The more we can get the word out, easier it will be for myself and my fellow directors to seek financial support from our community. And I must say, we do get support from benefactors outside Bega, which surprises but delights me. So I wish you well with your projects. I look forward to the stories. And if any of you who have won grants previously, I wouldn't mind some rewrites on the stories. We have some expert writers in our community. That would help me as well. So congratulations, and I look forward to catching up with all of you sometime during the next 12 months. Thanks a lot.